Yo, what's up with y'all, man? I hope you're doing good. If you're new and you're a fan of the NBA, subscribe to this channel. So let's get straight into it.
It's like it's Minute Maid, hijack 4, renegade, 24, number 8, Kobe shit fade away, ballin' since 11th grade, still in school, let him hate.
So here's how the story goes. It's 3 a.m. on an early Tuesday morning. I'm over here chilling, doing my normal crackhead activities that no one should be doing at that time at night. So as most of you guys know, I respond to literally just about every single comment down below in the comment section, and I read you guys' feedback. So here I am, laid up on my super comfy bed that I have by my side. So I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling until I stumble onto a few consecutive comments that catch my eye. Now I read these comments and I think to myself, what the hell is that supposed to mean? What is the Josh Jackson effect, and is he even good enough to have an effect or theory named after him? I was confused, puzzled, and perplexed until I put 2 and 2 together. Rewinding my night just a couple hours before I start reading comments, I was watching the Hawks game, and as usual, after the Hawks play a good game, I make a troll tweet. Am I really trolling? Who knows? And this one said that Cam Reddish was going to be the 3rd best player out of his draft class after another great performance.
Just gotta say something different about that, then come see me. I'm right here in B-More outside the bank. If you got an issue with that, come see me. I'm about that.
And then I go ahead and look at my replies and I see a Josh Jackson picture, and at this point I'm paranoid. Seeing Josh Jackson in the same sentence and being mentioned in the same air as Cam Reddish was weird because they have nothing to do with each other. There's no correlation. And then boom, big Brain Mojo kicked in, and I realized that one of the channels that I subscribe to, Sporting Logically, made a video with Cam Reddish and Josh Jackson in the thumbnail. So I go ahead and click this video and I watch it thoroughly, and just about every single thing that he said was perfectly logical. Now I'm not gonna sit here and dive deep into every single thing that he said. I'm gonna leave his link in the description box. But basically in this theory, he ventured and named this theory after Josh Jackson. I'm sure that there's been plenty of other players in the past who have gone through this phase on multiple accounts. But as of today, Josh Jackson is the most noticeable one with the eye-popping stats. At the end of the last few seasons that Josh Jackson has played, he's been putting up damn near all-star-esque numbers. He'd have people's heads turning just a bit and he'd leave the streets talking about some watch out for Josh Jackson, he's starting to break out, and don't sleep on Josh Jackson, and so on and so forth. He's had this weird pattern follow him throughout his short NBA career. Mans would all of a sudden look like he's in the prime of his career at the end of the season. For some reason. For all I know, end of the year, Josh Jackson is a top 10 NBA player. Theory is an obvious but brilliant one because no one really seemed to bring this out into light. And I'm happy to say that someone from our community was able to do this. Now his reasoning for Josh Jackson's numbers going up dramatically is because his minutes go up, which is obvious. His numbers should have increased no matter what. But this is where a lot of people get caught up, and this is what our man was able to point out. Teams league-wide typically take their foot off the gas towards the end of the season. The only teams that are still seriously engaged are the teams that are fighting for playoff spots and positioning. But other than that, top tier teams and mid-level playoff teams usually have their foot off the gas. And they're resting up for the playoffs, and the teams that reek are preparing for the NBA draft. And do not want to mess up their draft odds by winning too much games, leaving players in the same realm of mid as Josh Jackson to go crazy. Another case that was really intriguing was Trey Burke. He used him as an example. Just 2 years ago, this man was on the Knicks, and very late into the season, man starts going super saiyan on the court and damn near becomes a meme. People were real life fascinated with Trey Burke, not only because of his physical appearance and how he replicated Allen Iverson's look, but also because of how he played on the court. He was phenomenal. To cap off the season, during his last 11 games, he averaged 18 and 7 on good efficiency. Those numbers for him right there were a career best. But as soon as next season comes around and people have actually laid out some expectations for him, he falls back on earth and is putting up very pedestrian, below average mid numbers during his first 11 games into the next season. That is just one other example. All signs are pointing towards this theory to be an actual real thing. Another example could be Julius Randle. Last year when he was on the Pelicans, good grief, I'm in my bag right now. I know y'all remember the AD fiasco last year and how they were purposely shortening his minutes. And at that point in time, swear to God, there's no cap on me right now. There's a beanie. Julius Randle was looking like he was a top 5 power forward. But don't get me wrong, in my opinion, I believe Julius Randle actually has the capabilities to be really good. He just benefited really well off of that situation. This theory right here has a heck of a lot of truth to it, and it's one of the newest theories in our NBA world. Now my only issue with this is that it's not perfect and it has some flaws. The only flaw to this theory is that it can't be applied to rookies at all. Just think about it real quick. This theory is really spotted and named after a player who was starting to lose grip of his NBA career. Josh Jackson is that. Trey Burke is that as well. Jahlil Okafor, he's on the exact same tip and he's on that train as well. Guys in that same tier belong in this theory. Not no rookies at all, and especially no Cam Reddish. Not to be completely honest with you, it ain't no secret, I'm a Hawks fan who spends a lot of his time on a day-to-day basis watching his team perform. So to see people in my last video attach this theory to Cam Reddish irritating me, because it's a reach at that point and that theory really doesn't fit as well. Now, giving credit, this man thought this was a possibility as to why Cam Reddish was playing so well. It wasn't his final or sole reason why Cam was performing good. It was just an idea. But for the few people who said it was that and were basically quick to call Cam's improvement fraudulent, you're wrong. Now it hits home because I'm a Hawks fan, and to be honest with you, if he was to put anyone else but Cam Reddish in that thumbnail, you could put Kobe Bryant, RJ Barrett, someone of that nature, I wouldn't probably care. I'm a fanboy, I ride for mine, I can't help it. But I'm not only defending Cam Reddish from this type of treatment because that'd be foolish of me to do. I'm defending all of the rookies because they don't belong in this theory at all. Now here's why I believe you can't put rookies in this theory and why I think it's completely out of bounds. Most rookies in general struggle to start out the season. It's the most common trait about most of them coming out of the draft every single year. Unless you are the Zion, Jaws, and Lucas of the world, obviously. Most of them though go through this super rough patch of inconsistent games up until All-Star break, and that's when they start to pick things up, and in this case just about all rookies' numbers are up since All-Star break. This is just called growth, period. Guys like RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish, Kobe White, this confidence takes off at this time. It's not only like this now, but it's been like this ever since I started paying attention to all these rookies entering the NBA draft year after year after year. When you try to apply this theory to rookies, it's a reach in my mind, because there's not a monster sample size at all to judge them off of. In that video though, I think he did hit the nail on the head. Josh Jackson, Trey Burke, another random name that I could throw in this conversation is Nerlens Noel. Guys like that have established themselves as disappointment throughout the league. These rookies haven't established themselves as anything yet though. They have zero tendencies built in because they have 0 years in the NBA up under their belt. These 19, 20, and 21 year olds just have a couple months to show for it. So let's think about this real quick, okay? If someone wants to try to apply this theory to that man whose jersey is up on my wall, Trae Young, last year, you look like a word that I can't even utter out of my mouth because I'm probably gonna get demonetized. Y'all, literally, Trae Young didn't start to figure things out in the league consistently up until the month of January. Before that, he reeked. After All-Star break is when Trae started to kick things into high gear, on path to his legendary Hall of Fame career. Now, Cam Reddish obviously isn't on the same universe as Trae Young, but the same thing is applying to him right now. And this right here tends to happen to a good amount of rookies. Trae Young took that momentum and started spazzing, and it obviously carried on. I believe that Cam Reddish and really no other rookie in general should be placed anywhere near this theory. It just doesn't make much sense in my mind personally, but everything else for sure does. That logic shouldn't apply to rookies at all, because an attempt to apply this Josh Jackson theory to someone like Trae Young, who got hot towards the end of the year, just to say the least, it doesn't work out in your favor. And if I were you, I would leave that alone. There's no evidence to bring on the table at all, because these are 19, 20, and 21 year olds that we're talking about. I believe that Cam has the capabilities to maintain this, and his growth right here isn't a coincidence at all. I'm sorry, nobody can tell my mind nothing. Rookies shouldn't be brought into this discussion, period. But that doesn't mean that this theory isn't valid. If anything, I believe that it's now even more cleaned up of an idea, because we now know who to apply it to. A potential candidate of this right now is that man Christian Wood. He's someone who doesn't get much credit at all and is pretty much an unknown throughout the NBA world. Now, if you follow the podcast channel that I do with Rusty Buckets, then you already know who he is. Shameless plug, I don't really care. Christian got his 10 seconds of fame last year when he was with the Pelicans. He was given starter type minutes and he was putting up actually good numbers. Now, I'm not saying that he isn't talented, and I'm definitely not saying that he isn't good at all. In fact, I feel like he'll separate himself from this conversation, but for now, he is a candidate. He's been playing great with the Detroit Pistons, and he's been quote unquote the face of their organization, if that's impressive to say. Again, it's none serious. I'm not saying he's whack as a player, none like that. He's just a test for this theory. But someone else who could be added into this conversation is Taurean Prince, former Atlanta Hawk and current Brooklyn Net. TP, after All-Star break last year, damn near averaged 19 and 5 a game on good efficiency. That's something that he's never done in his career before. I'm pretty sure that a lot of Nets fans were optimistic optimistic about him and really hyped about his addition to that core because of the late season numbers that he put up. You'd expect him to carry that on, but he didn't. He's doing actually pretty bad right now, and he's back on the bench. So good shit, I mean, stuff to Sporting logically for bringing this into light. I think this theory will help a lot of teams maybe in the future, and fans for sure right now be aware of who may be frauds or not. Like he wanted in his video, he needs some of you guys, and I do too, to help expand on this conversation so we can really define this theory. Remember though, no rookies, cause they ain't allowed. Kudos to him for using someone like Cam Reddish and not RJ Barrett or Kobe White, because if it was any other rookie, I literally would not care, and I wouldn't be able to help perfect this theory. This is the end of the video though, man. I really do appreciate you for coming over here on my channel and seeing what I have to talk about today. I'm talking really fast again because my camera's about to die, but if you didn't already, go ahead and check out this video in the description box. Subscribe to this channel, check out my last video, leave a like, comment, all that stuff, and until next time, I really hope that you make your day great.
No way, remember back when I couldn't get a play, no home, I ain't have a place to stay, I got to work, made the surf, free the way, told my girl who'd ever thought.